ផ្នែកជាឈាមខ្ញុំបៀមគុំនុំអើយឈាមកងជាដុំយំស្ដាយទឹកដី
I wanted to ask you about your personal history, like why finally you did this job today.
I was born in 1980 in my village, and I have 8 brothers and sisters. So 10 years later, my father passed away. So my mother had to respond everything with the big family. And my sister is the oldest one in my family. So she and my mother had to work so much to support the family, because after the war, all things destroyed. Everyone feel like it is a new life. It is a new born. That you are lucky, you reborn again after the war. So everybody moved back to the homeland and then try to work hard to get something again. Especially Cambodian people, they work in the field, planting rice, watermelon, cucumber, grow corn, potato, or you find something in the forest to get for your stomach, or you climb up the hill, you cut the tree or you cut the wood for your local business, like you make sugar from the palm tree. And for my family, because of I still a little boy, so just 3 or 4 of my brothers that they try to work hard in the field, and my mom had to work every day, start from early morning until at night time. So try to work. Everyone don't care about education, because education is not important. What important is stomach. What important is family situation. So that's why they don't care. Just go to work. Even the old people or the young people just go to work together. And for the young children, when they are 3 years or 4 years, if they could not outside, they just stay at home. They look after small baby, or they can do small work at home. And then the community in my village, we got one volunteer teacher that he would like to spend 2 hours per day to teach the children in the community. At that time, not so many children come to get education, because they feel like they don't want education, because it's not important. Just go to work. I remember when I get education under the tree, it is more than 100 children, and the teacher have one blue board then hung on the tree. In the tree near my house, because I have a big tree. It's a mango tree, so it is the comfortable school for our community. You had to sit on the tree, and you don't have book, you don't have pen or pencil. You had to take a small wood like this. You have to make it. When the teacher try to write something on the blue board, you write down on the ground, to make sure something that you try not take from the teacher. would be try to remember in your brain because you then have book to writing. But unfortunately, when the class stopped, you had to move it out because it's under the ground, it's not on a paper. You had to move it out and you go back home. It's still nothing with you, but something still in your brain. You had to remember something. Yeah. And for the chalk, because at that time we don't have any chalk as right now, so you have to swim in the water and you have to jump in the water and you have to find the mud, the stick mud under the water. If you try to open your eye and you see it is white mud, and you take it out and then you roll it like this and you try with the sun. This is your chalk. One day you had to get 2 for school. So you go to the field, you look after the cows, you work in the field, and you take a time to swim in the water, and you take the white mud and try it. So you got 2 shots. Give the teacher. And we try to do education for 3 years. After 3 years, we select the student who passed the exam, sent to secondary school. And the day before they send the children who go into the secondary school, they organize the final exam. So the final exam start, and then you are lucky. You got 1 pen and 1 book. It is the lucky day of your final exam. You think that you are going to do your final exam. You all will try all your best to do it. So the day of the final exam arrived. So you spend for 3 days to complete your exam. And then the leader of the community and the volunteer teacher call your name, who passed the exam and going to send to secondary school. So everyone just maybe scared a bit because who passed, who failed the exam. At the time, only have 10 children that passed the exam. And other, they don't pass the exam, so they still live in the community, they still work in the community the same. But 10 children had to send to secondary school. Secondary school, home to secondary school, secondary school, back home, 17 kilometers, and nothing for transportation, and include study material. Because you look behind, your situation still so difficult, still very poor. But 10 of our children, include me, try to go. I still have 1 book and pen during the exam. We still have, so we go there. About 2 months and 3 months later, on the way from home to school, the road is pumping. When the raining season, you had to swim on the way to go there. And sometimes on the way it was slippery because at that time the road is not good. On the way go to school, even for the dry season, you had to swim a small river. When I arrived near the small river, I take off my clothes because I only have 1 clothes. So otherwise I don't have any clothes inside the class. So I had to take off my clothes and my book and my pen, just 1 hand. You hang your clothes and your study material, and 1 hand you swim. Yeah. But my family also complain about me because I am too young. I'm just 12, 13. And they said, make sure yourself on the way is not safe, and you are a small child. and we don't have time to take you to school because we still a lot of extra work to do. And I also talk with my family. So now we need to do a lot of work day to day. And you send me go to school, and how about the work here? Who can do all the work? My brother and sister said, okay, they can work instead of me. But I only go to study from Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I had to work at home. The teacher come to teach you, and you go to work at teacher house. So we have different group of students. One group start class, and another group go to work at his house. Around 6:30 or 7, you go back home. It is starting dark, so still not easy for you to go and back 17 kilometers. Go, but I tried for 3 years. And okay, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I go to work with my family. I go to work in the field, and also I also bring some cucumber and watermelon, put on my shoulder with a small bag. And you go with your friend, maybe 3 or 4 children together. You go to another village. You exchange vegetable and rice. So they will give you a can of rice, or 2 cans or 3 cans of rice, and then 1 watermelon or 2 watermelon. You exchange. So when you got back, you bring rice back home, and from home to another village, you bring any vegetable that you can bring. So sometimes, if you could not exchange, you had to stay some village for 1 night or 2 nights or 3 nights and just got back home. You need to finish all vegetable, and then you can back home. So I spent work and study for 3 years, and then I finished at secondary school. I stopped and got back to my community when I was 14. When I'm 14, I got back and I finished my education. I look, the children in my community, they are unlucky that live without education because my former teacher, he passed away. No one provide education. And then I talked with my mom that I want to do something for the children. But she said, you are too young. How could you do? And also the people in the village just push me. Okay, please help the children in the community. Okay. I spent one day to meet my teacher at school, and I talked to them. Now my community need me to provide education for the children, but I don't know how to work on it because I have no skill and study material. And something around look behind me, or something around like nothing. Yes, I have something like a little knowledge in my brains, but sometimes it's not easy to work out with a document. But still work. That I make my commitment, I try to do something. So that's why when I'm 14, I start to be a volunteer teacher for my community. Yes. And you ask me why I decide to do this work, how important it is. So it is something related to my background, and since I'm 14, I decide to do because I think education is very important. And I am one of the person in my community who have a little education. So I had to do something for the next generation. I don't want to let them away from me, and I don't want them to feel isolated from the society. Live without education it feel like you try to close your eyes. You see nothing. So that's why I think education is very important. Because when people they know, they can read, they can write, they can understand about the situation in the community. Good thing they can develop themselves, and then they feedback to the community or other place, so they can build the family, and also they can build the society as well. So that's why it is a good system. First I try to walk, and the next other people also try to work together. But it's not only me in this world that try to do volunteer work. So many people in this world, they try to do, like you as well, try to do good work for the community and society. So that's why for my idea, for my conception, volunteer work for your community or other community is very important. The first thing that you start with education and other activity in society. It's not only focus on one education. So you have to work on another activity that you can. So that's why it's very important.
The reason why you become a monk?
Yes. When I'm 14, I take my student in my community, and my temple here, that near where you sit, it is after the war also nothing, because they destroy all the building. During the Khmer Rouge, they say no religion, no white, no black, no poor, no rich, no new, no old. Just everyone work together for Angka. And they call itself like they are democracy. But it is not democracy, it is democracy. It's a crazy system that they try to kill people and they destroy everything. It is crazy system. So my temple at that time have 3 Buddhist monks. They are old, stay in the temple. And about a month or 2 months later, they get young monk to become a monk as well. It's about 4 or 5 Buddhist monks in the temple. They heard about my teaching in the community. They go there and they meet my mother, and they said they want Sareth to become a Buddhist monk. My mother said, I don't know. It is up to him. If he would like, it's okay. But if he doesn't like, I don't know how to do. Because he also busy right now to teach the children. And my mom, okay, we agree if he could be a monk. Yes, because at that time people they don't care about religion. After the war, they don't care about religion. Buddhist, Christian, Islamic, or other Hindu, or other religion, they don't care. Because they just care go to work, come back home at night, work, daytime work. So a lot of work to do. And then one day they go to meet me, and they ask me, and I also ask them, what is the Buddhism? Because I never read, I never understand about the Buddhist system. Because I'm too young, and I never been in a temple, so I don't know what is Buddhism. They try to explain me. I told them, okay, Now I know something from you, but do you have any document about Buddhism? I want to read, I want to know for make sure what I am going to do. And I am happy with something that I am doing, because I don't want myself disappointed. I want myself happy with my activity or something that I'm doing. And then they said, okay, they have a view book of Buddhism. Then they gave me 2 books of Buddhism. They're talking about how important when you become Buddhist monk, and the way you learn both from the Buddhist way and the social way, and you have the same opportunity to work for the community, so you can do good things for the people around. That means you share your happiness, you share something that you have for everyone. Also education, and also talking when the Buddha was time and he got enlightenment, he always walk around to meet other people and educate other people to do good thing, to keep away from bad thing, and to purify your mind. So this way that I feel like, okay, I want to learn more, because it would be good for me to develop myself through this way and to learn more from the society. And also the monk said, if you can become the Buddhist monk, you have good opportunity to provide education for the children around the temple. So the temple is the central education. And I told them, now I have more than 100 children, so how could I do if they come more? And we don't have school, so how could we do? They said, okay, just try to help if you can. Okay, later on, I decide to be a Buddhist monk. And then I stay in the temple. I get more children, because 12 villages around here, it's more than 200 children. And I also start and also teach them under the tree the same, where I learned before that. So under the temple, we have one tree, we call a mango tree. It is a big tree. So it is the good school for the children, more than 200. It's a big number, but we are happy to sit under the tree and to get education. And I'm also happy that I have good opportunity to provide education for the number of students. And then something in my mind just thinking about in the future, because the result that I get, it make me happy to see the children, they can read, they can write, they're happy to keep good contact each other, and they try to know each other and try to learn from each other. It is a good way to make a good unit for them in the future. So that's why I think in the future I would like to continue my education when my student can do something for the community. So 3 years later, some of my students, they try to do for the next generation. I try to select them. They already deny. They said, I'm a little education, how could I do? How could I work on it? I told them, I also little boy, but I try. You see, in the morning I teach the children, afternoon I teach adult, and at night time I teach the monk in the temple. It's all day work, but I try. So now it's your turn. You had to do it. Okay, they try also. So I get 3, and later on I get 5, and then I get 6, I get 7 number of the teaching. So we share the tree where we should sit and where we should teach the children, because we had to separate the class and different age. Until when I'm 20 years old, I continue to study at high school. But I go to another place to get education and let some of my students teach the children. So I spend another place for 3 years more. And then I come back. Something that I got from high school, I provide for my student. So my student get more knowledge, get more experience, and then they try to change another world. So it is the circle of education. The circle of education. And then I have another idea. Okay, I want to continue my education at university. Because now I see what I can do. A big number of children, they're happy with education. I also need to develop myself and feedback for this community. Hopefully in the future we'll get more and more number of children. And hopefully in the future I can help another place as well. It's not only this place. So I can go to another place or send my student to another community to help them. It is my plan. It is free school for everyone. So anywhere they can come and get education. And it is not a Buddhist school. We provide the same education at the state school, at the public school. But if you want to study about Buddhism, please, inside the temple. Somebody there, they will teach you and they will show you about Buddhism. He knows Buddhist program, just general subject. Geography, history, Khmer, and simple math, and other social study.